Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of this day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspaper Limited Group Executive Director, Mr. Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, Mr. KK, and thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Good morning, Oji.
Yes.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, KK.
Perfect.
Good morning.
I'm pleased to be here.
All right, thank you. Let's go straight into it. Let's start, as always, with This Day on Sunday, the newspaper of record. From top to bottom, the window story, which readers will find on page 5 of today's paper, says external debt service gulps $5.47 billion in 14 months amid pressures on revenues reserves. FX direct remittances rise to $180.03 million. That's strictly business news there, talks, interesting facts about how much we have paid so far in the last 14 months to service external debt. $5.47 billion, it says. But of course, the fact that FX direct remittances are also rising, maybe that will sort of balance it up. We're spending a lot of money servicing debt, but then the FX is coming in. Under that story, which readers will find on page 6, the strip there, El-Rufai urges Atiku, Obi, Amechi, others to join SDP. We touched on that already at the beginning of the story, where the genius of the world, made some profound submissions on the character of the gentleman who is asking others to join him in SDP. Below the masthead, Nigeria not listed as Trump molds travel ban on 43 countries. That's on page 10. Oji, that speaks to the last question that you asked, Dr. Sam Amadi. Nigeria is not there. Even South Africa is not there in spite of the diplomatic row between the two countries. But then, just like you asked, is this like a preamble, to what to expect?
What to expect
for those who may have reasons to be in America desperately, maybe this is the time to renew their 5 years.
I know somebody who actually knew this was coming and went to America just because of that purpose, just in case.
Yes, if that will be the last time.
Just in case it will be the last time they'll ever get to travel to America.
Well, Dr. Madi did say that Trump is a transactional leader. Yeah. And I think that, Nigeria is also not lacking in men in authority who understand transactionalism, whenever it is needed. All right, the other story, CDS, Nigeria has a lot to lose if Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso don't return to democracy. That's the Chief of Defense Staff. Speaking there, says Nigeria had least number of attacks in 2024. And the big story itself, the lead, Wike in grand reception in Abalama, says he was misquoted in statement on Ijaws, vows not to stop Rivers State lawmakers from performing their constitutional duties. Pandev demands public apology from Wike for alleged disparaging remarks against South-South leaders, and Rivers SSG warns against taking Fubara's simplicity for weakness. So Rivers is still swimming in troubled waters, Wike, Fubara, and all those things. The picture there showing, of course, the grand reception for Wike, in spite of the protest that heralded is going there. And of course, Wike himself on the right. That's about it, KK, for your analysis. Politics here and there, business, diplomacy. That's the cover of This Day today.
It's a potpourri, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. We will start with the security story. That's very important. The CDS, because it's very important. Yeah, actually, and the context of it, he spoke on Arise.
Okay.
I think
exactly.
And so what he's saying should be put in the proper context.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the caption, it might appear as if what is the business of the Army General, calling for restoration of democracy, but I mean, it could be so.
On the surface,
on the surface, that's why I'm saying that yes, it should be put in the proper context, you know, and I think it's striking the right chord, you know. I will say that, yes, the military, the security agencies will perform their duty, you know, as military, as security people, you know, but you are talking of having peace, you know, as the basis of development, then a lot needs to be done at the political and diplomatic level, and which is not the brief, you know, of the military, like I said, you know. So what this trend is, you know, subtle, which is quite proper, and that is to mean is a measure of how professional, you know, our military is, you know. That is, you know, actually admitting the, you know, the subordination, you know, of the military, you know, to the civil authority, and recognizing that ultimately that the solution, you know, to the problems, while they do their professional duty of ensuring their security, you know, fighting terrorists, fighting bandits, and other criminals, that the civil authorities, you know, will have to do more. And made quite a good point that if you don't have, you know, political stability, you know, if our neighbors don't have political stability, that's definitely, logically, that there will be a rub off, you know, that, you know, on us. And I think that point, you know, should be noted. The Wike story. Yes, because of the little time we have, it should be understood that, you know, virtually all the papers, you know, have the Wike story on their front pages. You know, Tribune, Punch, The Sun, Telegraph, The Nation, you know, all you know, have the story, and that's, for us to use Steve's word, we say that is the story of the day, you know. So, but then maybe debatable, other people may see other story. But then, given the treatment given to it on virtually all the front pages, the Vanguard and all the others, you know, you may say is the story of the day. Now, you read, especially if you use the way this day has reported it as the lead story. What happened yesterday in Rivers State, you know, again brings, you know, has brought to the fore again the immense contradictions, you know, that define, you know, the crisis that have been there, you know, and point to one point that ultimately that there has to be a political solution, you know, to it, and in doing so, you could offer, you know, humble counsel that all the parties involved, that as politicians, as gladiators, a lot of emotional intelligence, you know, ought to be applied. You know, statement made, actions taken, and that is essential because ultimately it is the interest of the Rivers people that should be supreme. You know, that whichever, you know, way it is put, you know. But then, in the interim, I think it's a relief that Chief Wike, the Minister of FCT, I said that it was misquoted, you know, because like you have in the rider, you know, to the story that Pandev, Ijaws activists, you know, are actually insisting on apology. So if you permit, if you quote, if you can take a quote from what he said, I don't know whether this one will pass for apology, you know, and also a sort of address said, nobody should associate anything evil with Ijaws. Ijaws people are not evil people. You cannot be saying, I will blow the pipeline. No, engage people intellectually and diplomatically, and you get what you want. In the world we are in today, we are past the stage of threatening the people.
Oh, that's a good clarification.
Yes. So that's why I said it's a
clarification.
Yes, it's a relief. And that's why that, you know, that in making, especially the politicians, you know, they have been to me, it is not advisable that you make blanket statements, you know. If you have a disagreement with a fellow politician who is of Ijaws origin, address that politician, you know. But that does not, you should not bring in the whole of Ijaws. If you have a sweeping, you know, so exactly that I'm talking about, you know, that, you know, this issue of, you know, diversity, you know, and respect, you know for groups, you know, it should be emphasized that you shouldn't be making such blanket statement. But what is important is that thankfully there was no incident yesterday. I mean, there was no. That many people feared that maybe there could be bloodbath since the event took place in the Calabari area of Rivers State, and there has been still opposition to it that it went. But that does not mean that all is well with Rivers for now. Yeah. And that is why there should be a political solution, so that the interest of the Rivers people will be
Would you have
protected.
preferred an apology, Steve Ayorinde, as opposed to...
No, my preference is not that important. I'm just saying that the important section that KK read it's a commendable clarification. Right. But it isn't an apology.
It's not an apology. Statements like that, especially when it has to do with an ethnic group or a tribe, is so important to be able to actually clarify.
Does it just an apology? That's a different
That's a different, but they are asking for an apology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they haven't gotten it.
They haven't gotten it through that statement, you mean. Okay, well, all right. Shall we now head over to This Day's Style? This Day's Style, the cover picture there is Chude Jidonwo choosing joy. I mean, we all know Chude, who's, an excellent journalist, and the editor's note there says, when you hear the name Chude Jidonwo, what comes to your mind? For many, he's an enigma, a man whose name is synonymous with media, innovation, social change, and storytelling that touches the soul. To others, he's quite a force behind some of Africa's most impactful movements, a man who has spent 25 years reshaping narratives across advertising, public relations, television, radio, print, and digital media. Well, congratulations to Chude. I have seen some of his interviews, and they're actually quite, impactful, very inspirational, he's done very well for himself.
There's a writer about joy. Is it Joy is Coming?
Joy is coming. Did he help with the song? No, I'm just saying.
No, on the cover.
Choosing joy.
Okay, so Joy is coming, isn't it?
Joy is coming. Okay. Do you know that song, Mr. Komolafe?
Yes, I do.
We don't call him KK for no reason. All right, can we take the punch?
Congratulations to Chude. It's my younger brother.
He is?
Yes. I know he is. Yes.
All right.
And best wishes to him.
Best wishes.
He has made a lot of impact. I wish him well.
And point together? Or,
all right.
Because there are a number of interesting stories on the post. So let's do the two. Do telegraphs so that KK can take them both.
Okay. So beginning with the top story, yes, I think it's similar to what we had in this. The Pandef gives Wike 48 hours to apologize to Niger Delta leaders. And I think that speaks to what we were just saying earlier, the difference between an apology and a clarification. What he said was a clarification, but not necessarily an apology. And now Pandef is now categorically stating that they're giving Wike 48 hours to apologize to Niger Delta leaders. Kano clarifies the court's judgment on Sanusi's reinstatement, appeal court's judgment on Sanusi's reinstatement, that is. And then, of course, the major story here being opposition returns to drawing board. Atiku under pressure to drop ambition. PDP awaits Supreme Court's judgment to rejig. CPC members to follow El Rufai out of APC. And Ogunlewe, it will be difficult to beat Tinubu. There are other stories. If we go to the head of the paper, Shetima, we're committed to Plateau's stability and economic development. And I think finally, just Ambassador Keshi saying that the U.S. tariff war will cripple world trade, saying terrorism sponsorship allegations against organizations is not really surprising.
Mm-hmm. All right, for Punch, KK, Punch is talking about fuel, but of course in Niger, fuel crisis, it says, Niger begs Nigeria for petrol despite tense relations. That story is on page 3. Fuel sells for 8,000 naira a litre in Niger. Nigeria sends 13.5 million litres of petrol, which is an important story, given that just in 2020, you know that Niger in Niamey has its own refinery. And at the time that we were really struggling, we also imported from Niger, in 2020. But I think
that's a good reminder.
Absolutely. So I think it has to do with the problem with the Chinese partners that Niger is dealing with, that the military is unable to. So, but I like the fact that Nigeria says, okay, we won't look at your at your misdemeanor, we will send fuel to you. I think
that's the right thing to do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We remain neighbors.
Yes. A few other stories, KK. Nigeria pushing hungry youths towards revolution. That's coming from Obasanjo. And I know that Kachi will be interested in this other story, Ashake's deep-kept secrets, conflicting stories of his Aleko top musician's childhood. There's been this, back and forth about
There are
his
conflicting
father.
stories, right?
Yeah, his father.
His
blah,
father
blah.
abandoning him at one time, and he's saying that, it was because of hardship or something.
I'm
and
not so sure
I
what
saw
is
that
clear about the story, but a lot of people are coming down hard on him.
On Ashake, right? He shouldn't have released that song.
That in spite
Yeah.
of the issues that you might have with your dad. Your dad is your dad, even though there are some things from him that said, oh, I've given him a good chunk of money too, but then he keeps wasting it. But I think that there's a bit of a health challenge for the man,
father, yeah, I saw
at this
the
point,
video.
and maybe some care, will be necessary. Should we take one more story from there? From World Bank, Nigeria's $1.1 billion loan request may be granted soon. That's World Bank. We're still borrowing. Okay. So Punch, Telegraph.
Okay, let me just take another story which is in all the paper. That is the story of which you have very well, by the way, dealt with, earlier in an earlier segment of the show. This coalition formation of party. Now, the thing I just want to say is just a critique of the media. Speaking as an ombudsman now, the way we have all reported it. We had an election in 2023. 2023, all those people who were elected at that time, they've not even gone to the media. So I mean to the midterm. Sorry, I mean to the midterm.
Yeah.
I mean it's May that will be midterm.
Right.
This period should be period in which people will be discussing issues, policies. We indulge these people. There are people just taking up ambition who is going to be president in this. This is not the time. The thing should
I like that.
It should be policies. What is happening? What are the alternatives? What are the other ideas? A budget has just been passed. A budget has just been passed.
Right.
Nobody is discussing the budget. We don't see the opposition. Alternative.
But the media is discussing the budget.
No. What I'm saying is that the way we promote this, we are not asking them the question. So if you say you are moving from this party to this party, what is the programmatic difference that you have? What is the policy difference? What is the what is the ideological difference? What is the thing that's being asked? We're not asking them. We're just massaging people's ego. This person is a big political fish. This one is not.
She did ask that question at the beginning of the program.
And I agree with her. Yes, exactly. In fact, she inspired by the one I'm making. Yes. So I'm saying that we should take them to task.
Yes.
This is the period. You see, the reason why the public is becoming cynical, about politics is that just all year round. We're just talking politics. We're not talking issues, and that is why you are having, the voter apathy. Increasingly, fewer and fewer Nigerians are interested in voting. People are not seeing, politicians, discussing their interests.
Yeah.
It is the ambition of who will become president in 2027 who will be president, But what I'm saying is that, there are issues, if there are alternative views, a way to do it better, or maybe suggestion about the person who is doing it, that's what you'll be engaging in. What I'm saying that the way we report it, the way when we even interview them, we are not confronting them with these issues. That's what I'm saying.
I think that
so when they appear on television, it is that are you a smarter politician than this person? The thing is that on this tax issue, what is your position? What alternative policy and education policy do you have? In what way can you turn this around, better for education, for health? These are things that is the purpose of politics.
It's not.
I
think to an extent there is.
So I'm saying that the media itself is guilty of shallowness in the way we engage the politicians.
We have to report the news.
And by the way, this is a self-criticism, by the way. So I'm making a self-criticism.
I get your point. I just
see slightly differently.
Me too. I think a little bit differently.
What I was going to say was, I definitely think that, there's also part of what you've said is as a result of the fact that genuinely, I think as media, the same thing keeps happening over again. It makes no sense to have you, for instance, come on the show, say you're in some position, and I speak to you about certain issues today, and you promise all the great things, and then you come next week and I'm literally asking you the same questions because, again, I invited you here knowing fully well you haven't done what you said the last time. That's the system that we run. So in a way, it's almost like an illusion where we really just deal with whatever it is that we're giving to us. But I have to also point out that we do make it a point of duty to mention what needs to be said. We need to mention what needs to be said because honestly, like you said, it's all a game and it's
that's
exhausting.
a good point. We need to, we report the news. That's what we do. For example, the reason we are reporting the fact that El-Rufai says he's decamping to the SDP, he says he's decamping because the Tinubu administration has not performed the way he thought they would perform. He was hoping that by now, Tinubu would have, done the blueprint of Lagos. He would have transformed Nigeria the way he transformed Lagos. So, those are some questions, and we'll be wondering,
Well, you know that he was being cheeky.
He was being cheeky, but that was what he said.
Very quickly, KK, is that I do agree with you. It's just that I think that, yes, politics is salacious, it's salacious, many in the media tend to celebritize politicians, we turn them into celebrities and stuff like that. But in spite of that, there are issues that the media is not ignoring. What could be bigger in terms of intervention in economic matters, budgetary matters than what Arise did earlier last week.
Thank you for
when brought the minister, what wrote us, I thought that was the zenith, of journalism that others should emulate, and there are others who are also doing stuff.
Right.
But we won't also say because budget and stuff are important to us that those who will control the budget, shouldn't also be listened to, even when they appear salacious in their submissions. So that's my point.
I also agree with you. I'm not saying that we should do more by nudging them towards playing ideological politics.
Mr. Komolafe,
Well said.
unfortunately we have to go, and thank you very much for joining us on the morning show this morning. At the end of the day, we need a strong opposition. And Kachi Ofia,
strong media.
Welcome to the Sunday
Oh,
morning
well,
show.
what can I say?
I'm sorry I didn't
Thank
welcome
you
earlier.
for saying that.
Good job. I enjoyed the program with you. Thank you, Mr. Komolafe.
Thanks for welcoming
Thank you very
Angel
much.
Kachi.
Yeah.
This is the land of the angels.
Oh, this is? Oh, okay.
It is the land of the angels. All right,
thank you.
That brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I'm Kachi Ofia. It's been a great pleasure sharing the morning experience with you. See you next week.
Absolutely. I'm Oji Okwe. From our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.